so crazy. You have this Storm jumping around, Legion trying to go for kills. It's just very chaotic. This lineup is just straightforward. We push, we win our lanes, we push, and that's pretty much it.
So, what do you think for... I feel more of a hard carry style. I don't think you can run an aggressive carry like your Bloodseekers or something. I don't think you could beat...
If you go for something like a Bloodseeker and then you fall off mid-game, it's...
Yeah, you're just screwed.
You're done.
I think you need a harder carry. What are some of the hard carries we've seen?
Oh, they can take Huskar themselves.
Oh.
No, yeah, they can.
Okay.
What?
So...
They can. How are they going to lane that? Who's safe lane? Is Puck mid and then Huskar safe lane and a bad enough lane? I guess yes.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Huskar safe lane. Do we like that? I see frowny faces on my left here.
I've seen it work. Some
yeah, but can you beat
teams are playing it.
Grimstroke Omni?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, Grimstroke Omni are going to wreck him, or should at least.
What do we, by the way, think about Lich? Because we have not yet talked about that hero. We saw it on NIP, and even though they lost, the Lich looked good.
Lich is just your stable support right now. Gives you some shield, carries 9 mangoes in the lane so he can Frost Nova you forever.
Yeah. For the mango tree.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
you see him, you want to kill yourself when he comes to the lane.
Wow.
It's a support
that's
I hate it. I don't want to talk about him.
It's a support that's okay for the laning phase because of you like do this Frost Blast builds where you just keep on spamming it on people. I don't know. I actually really like Geek Fam's lineup. I feel like it's very stable. I'm not convinced RNG is going to win the laning phase matchup either, which is really concerning. I don't think you beat Omni, or at least I think Omni is going to be one of the offlaners that can do okay with this. I think the mid matchup is DK Puck. Seen that plenty of times. And Gyrocopter with a Wisp. You know, I don't see him really having trouble.
And you're happy enough with the combinations of the Grimstroke? Basically, the only thing is the double homing missile and the double Dragon Tail?
I love Geek Fam's combinations with Grimstroke and their lineup in general, and I feel that RNG's draft is obviously based around their Huskar. But usually when you have that Huskar, you have an additional core, something that can scale even more than the Husk, right?
And Puck doesn't scale as well as it used to, right?
And usually what you do with Huskar, you just drain all the attention to yourself while that second core farms and becomes big as well, and then they can't stop you. Literally, their strategy is we have Abaddon and Huskar, and we're going to shield the Huskar all the time, and he's going to go ham. But if that fails once or twice in the mid-game,
all right, well, we're going to find out. Sorry, Cap, no time for you to give your thoughts on this, but if I hear you correctly, you guys are thinking it's going to go to a game number 3. Cap. Let's find out what's going to happen in game 2 with Geek Fam and RNG, and also with ODPixel and Brian.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yeah, so as we heard for the panel, definitely better hopes for Geek Fam here in this game 2 in comparison to what we saw from them from game 1. Do you agree? A little happy with this draft this time around from Geek Fam?
Yeah, just a much simpler game plan. I also like their IO that I saw yesterday. So big fan of the IO DK. I think we've exclusively seen DK this patch against the Puck. It's a really good game matchup. You have an instant stun usually by a blink, so it's hard for Puck to play the game that she wants to play. And also Puck doesn't really do anything to you as the game goes on, and it's usually a good lane matchup. But they have thrown a curveball, picking this Huskar into the DK. As far as I know, Huskar is very good against DK, but DK doesn't ruin DK. And what I'm really going to look for is Geek Fam's mid-game rotations to help this DK. Just shut down the Huskar's momentum. And I have the same concern as Cap, that usually you have Huskar who's enabling somebody else because he applies so much pressure and strength in the mid-game, and you're enabling a Puck. And 5 days ago, I might have believed in that because Puck dished out some insane right-click, but they did heavily nerf the right-click Puck by putting the phase shift talent at level 15 and making the 15 damage talent now at level 10 be 30 damage instead of 90. So I am much favoring Geek Fam's draft this game, but by no means do I underestimate the possibility that Huskar will just run out of control.
Because he has the backup to do it, right?
And he has the Rubik.
Yeah, so he has not only the Lich and the Abaddon, but that sort of pseudo Omni Knight. You know, Rubik's going to be able to get those steals that's going to allow him to apply those extra buffs to the Huskar. And something very similar that we saw yesterday from Nigma. They had a Huskar, Lich, and an Omni. You know, here it's arguably even better for RNG. Obviously, the opposing side they're playing against is entirely different to what Nigma did. But, you know, this Huskar lineup, it can work, and Huskar can be that hero that you brute force end the game with without the need of having any sort of backup carry. But that's the problem, right? As you said, there isn't that backup carry. Unless Setsu does something amazing on the puck, a hero that's been severely nerfed. Setsu, he still believes in it. We'll see what he does with it this game.
Yeah, I think if Rubik's able to get off some crucial steals from the Omni, such that his save just kind of puts RNG over the edge, as we were talking about, I think that's really their way to victory in these mid-game to late-game team fights. But I also think that you don't really have to focus this Huskar. You have like a lot of spread damage, a lot of just kind of heavy mid-game damage coming out from Geek Fam, and these heroes like the Lich as well as the Rubik, who are going to be heavily position-based. I don't know if they're going to be able to position the way they need to, and that's my main concern for their draft. Overall, I just like the balance of Geek Fam's draft this game compared to last game. They banned out the Drow themselves, interestingly enough, so even though they didn't want to play it again, they are apparently scared of RNG picking it up themselves.
And as to say Flame Puck, are you still going for the right-click build? Is that what you have to do, or do we see him sort of go for a magical variant? So even with the talent change, you can still go for a right-click build.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've been here since that patch came out. I actually have not played a Dota game. I don't know if people are going for the right-click build in a situation like this on Puck. I don't know if you're comfortable with having Huskar be your only right-clicker as the game goes on, because once they get BKBs, Huskar's right-click is very underwhelming. So if you only have him, the first initiation from Zephyr onto the Lich, getting a little bit caught out of position, does look to get a lot of damage onto Cuckoo, who might be going down in return. And not quite enough. It looks. Oh, the silence to get in range does break the salve, so at the very least we'll be forcing him back to base. That's actually not that bad, I'd say, for RNG, if not maybe even worth it, because the Omni Knight was forced to expend so much regen, and looks like he's pretty content not to go back to base, though. He's going to walk back to lane very low, maybe getting salved up by his Grimstroke. Looks like that is the case based on his health bar at the top.
Mid lane has been, as expected, impossible for the DK to sort of stay in the lane. He's doing the smart thing, K. He's gone behind the tier 1 tower. He's dragging the creep waves around, so he's able to at least get something, but it's sort of playing out right as you imagine. Early levels, DK, he's still going to get heavily bullied out of the lane in that 1v1. So he's making amends, and he's doing the smart moves, K, so he can at least find something from this laning stage and not feed his life away.
I'm almost surprised he didn't lane level 1, though. Usually Huskar's level 1 Burning Spears is not enough to bully heroes like DK out of the lanes, but he's elected to do this from level 1, and you're seeing Huskar absolutely free farming. That's why they picked it last, and this was the fear, the one concern I had for Geek Fam's lineup. RNG has done a great job of overall just their last pick being very hard to deal with whatever current heroes the opponent has. Like, sometimes you have a response pick and you can maybe deal with it with one hero, but Huskar looking to have quite a free game here, and if he hits that critical threshold, critical mass, where he can just get Roche and he's unkillable, that is 100% their recognition for RNG, and so far he has geared up to do just that, going for what appears to be the double, maybe triple bracer build on the Huskar. Magic resistance no longer a part of his innate kit, so really nice to get that against the Grimstroke Gyro, even the DK in the mid game with the magic damage from Dual Breath or Dragon Breath.
We're seeing, you know, already 4 minutes in, it's another early lead that RNG are able to get with the situation in these lanes, both the mid and the bottom being the ones where we're seeing the most one-sided affair, as Setsu taking down Cuckoo. The offlaner falls for Geek Fam.
Yeah, this is one of the first games that I've watched that the laning stage has gotten out of control this quickly. This is always a concern with any draft. Doesn't really matter what draft it is. Obviously, RNG did draft their last pick to do just this, so this was their game plan. I didn't expect it to go this poorly for them on the side of Geek Fam, but they are getting annihilated in 2 of the 3 lanes, and the other lane is slightly in favor of RNG, so more like 2.5 lanes going in the favor of RNG. And with Huskar, that's exactly what you need. Is he just going to die here?
He's got the Fairy Fire.
Forced to Fairy Fire, and it's going to salve up, but...
It's not a happy life for K.
Yeah, I don't know. The problem is if you just have a bad lane mid...
Yeah, how do you catch up as a DK?
Well, the thing is you can kill the Huskar if your other lanes are going well enough that you make a quick rotation, alleviate some of the pressure, but this really concerns me when DK is not the only one struggling this early on in the game.
It's going to, I mean, all eyes really were on Raven and Dubu to make plays when they hit their sixes, right?
Yeah, it really is. And Cuckoo being neutered as hard as he is as well, that's a big problem. Setsu absolutely free farming bottom. They're looking to make a move on Super, but the Huskar just poses too much of a threat for them to want to go on that. Setsu is getting low bottom, but he's chilling. He's against a melee hero like Omni Knight, who doesn't really have a way to like close the gap. So even though he's this low of health, there's really no threat on him.
And he's feeling confident with the Fairy Fire and the wand. He's ready for the outplay if Cuckoo does try and get aggressive towards the tower. And even you can see, Setsu, he knows he can get in.
Saw him use Purify, so he's not afraid to just run at him right now. He also just got his bottle delivered.
He's going to be able to throw out another orb in a second.
He's got this, I think.
Cuckoo will run. Doesn't manage to dodge the orb damage, and that'll be another kill in the mid lane. Super actually getting taken down out behind the tower. Sort of, I don't know what he's doing there. A little bit deep from him.
I like that RNG's playing around the Huskar, and I like that Geek Fam's responding to it. Both of these very good.
Raven has been left alone momentarily. RNG's going to maybe try and punish this. They bring the Lich up to the top lane. Raven is going to allow himself to be silenced. He doesn't have any help coming in at all. He's pulled back by the Sinister Gaze. The Rocket Barrage does nothing to Fly when he moves in, chase him down with a Frost Shield, and Raven, punished for farming a little too confidently there. His entire team had done that move, as you say, going towards the mid lane to deal with the Huskar. Raven, he didn't get the memo. He sticks around and he dies for it.
Yeah, that's a honestly pretty rookie mistake for a carry player to make. When 3 of your heroes show in the mid lane, the other team knows how that IO got there. They know the IO TP'd mid, so they know that you're alone for the next 20 or so seconds as IO's off the map. And he's just playing way too aggressively, gets ganked by a Lich. You know, that's not exactly the hero you envision ganking people this early on into the game, but yeah, just overstepping his bounds. Big death there because of how far behind they already are. Every little ounce of momentum that RNG adds to the equation is just that much more scary. Abaddon probably has another item coming out soonish. Both teams picking up an Iron Talon. Puck going for the treads. Will we see the Deso, or will we see more of like the Veil, Blink, Yules, that kind of build?
Yeah, that is the question. Because they said we're here to learn and here to see what the sort of situation is with safe lane Puck post nerf.
It's funny because before the nerf, I'd actually seen a decent amount of safe lane Pucks, and they were all going the right click, and it was scary, man.
Oh, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, before the nerf, it was fantastic. Yeah, you get that Deso, and I mean, well. One of the reasons why there was that nerf, that hero was ridiculous.
Surprisingly, Puck is owning this Omni Knight. I honestly think that kill attempt on Lich that left him to leave the lane gave Puck such a nice advantage that now he's in a really rough spot. And Arcane Ring, super valuable item on any of the 3 Int heroes that RNG has, so he'll probably dish that one off. Gave it already to his Lich. Armlet almost complete on this Huskar. This is like when you see a storm warning on the news, you know, and you just know it hasn't hit you yet, but sometime in the next 5-10 minutes, you see the clouds brewing in the distance. This is inevitable what Geek Fam is about to face. Last game, they did a pretty good job of fighting up against a pretty tough wall to break through, but this one's coming even faster, I think, than the last one.
And I think it's that much harder for any sort of hopeful play to be made. You know, last game at least K was on like a Storm Spirit, he could AFK farm in the jungle, he got a Bloodstone, was able to make some plays, pick off the supports. I don't see him doing that as a Dragon Knight. That's suffered as much as he had in the laning stage with that smart pick of the Huskar and the way that it just destroyed him in the lane.
I think they underestimated how badly Omni would do against Puck bottom. I think it partially was a misplay with that kill attempt that left him in a rough spot, but just theory crafting in hindsight, maybe Geek Fam needed to do like an aggro tri-lane with the gyro, put the Omni Knight solo safe lane top, because my major issue with this draft so far is that none of your cores have the ideal start that they want to have. In this meta, it's usually not enough for just your carry to have a good start. You'd almost rather any of your other cores than your carry, because a lot of the carries like to spend time recovering. And when the weight's on your shoulders of your carry to farm and be aggressive, like because he's the only one with a good start, that does not feel good. But they do manage to secure 2 of the bounty runes as well as one of the outposts, despite being down by 4,000 gold. Monet making a really nice move to the top lane, playing around his defensive hero, forcing the IO to TP away. Almost level 10 already on this Huskar. Going for the treads into the BKB. Once he gets that BKB, he is not dying. Owen.
And Brian, what's this say to you? The Dragon Knight, he's queued up the item that I didn't even know was still in the game. It's a Hand of Midas.
Oh my god. Right when you said like Dragon Knight's queuing up an item, I was pretty sure I knew what you were gonna say. Is there a better item? That's my main question. Probably.
Down bottom, a bit of a team fight will ensue. Zephyr, he's going to be saved there, Dubu. Okay. Nice little relocate, taking him out to the side. Will manage to get Zephyr back to safety. RNG is going to still continue to try and chase, see if they can find anyone out of this, but doesn't look like they will. Maybe Dubu on the way back. He tries for a tether across, but they'll be able to put a stop to it with a quick lift from September, as Dubu will pay, but did at least manage to save his Grimstroke.
I will say it's kind of funny with what I said about Gyro being like their carry and him having to be active and farm. Instead, they're just making it so the DK's farming.
Yeah.
And Gyro is now on 2-position duty. Is that the winning play? I don't know, but it sounds reasonable, like that they came to that conclusion. K getting the classic why you don't buy a Midas in competitive Dota in this patch. You're just getting ran at, and even if you have this efficiency item, you're not allowed to use it because you're just dead.
Nah, he was so close to having it
I
done
don't
as
think
well.
he thought it. He might be paying the price on Zetsu though. Gets silenced up. That shield does not remove the bug from Grimstroke. He goes down.
That's a big catch. Can they get anything more? RNG, they will. They'll jump in on Zephyr, punish him. But killing the pop. Zetsu, he's been having a very good game so far. It's a high-value kill, but unlikely Geek Fam's going to be able to do anything off the back of that kill.
Oh, they're looking to fight. Monet's kind of low.
But he's not, you know, that's what he likes.
DK has no Dragon. I mean, DK, he has Dragon Farm. He has no items. So that's the problem with this DK playing the recovery game. I don't mind if you want to be more of a farmer, but the fact that you have Midas, you're basically not in the game right now. And I don't think this patch can be played that way. Huskar dunking in.
He's going to be fine, Cuckoo, with the backup of Dubu. There's tier 1 tower just about to be pushed over the edge, very, very close to falling. RNG will continue to push on. Nothing that scares them at the moment. They feel their lead at 6k advantage here, 12 minutes in. Starting to take over once again this game. The two cores, Monet and Setsu, quite that step ahead of anything that Geek Fam have on the map at the moment.
I underestimated the strength of the laning stage from RNG. It really is not just the Huskar, right? The main issue is all the other lanes of what happened. Got the whole smorgasbord of items coming out from the Gyrocopter. I hope that's completed drums, because otherwise his item build makes no sense. Okay, it is a drum.
Middle tower is under attack.
Going for the Yules on Puck.
Dire's bottom tower
Pretty much makes him unkillable, gives him a TP cancel as well as from his coil, but also the setup for his team. His team has very limited mobility, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of times that he catches heroes and his team won't be able to catch up to him yet. So maybe the Yules into coil will be a much more potent combo this game to allow his team to catch up. Vlad's on the Abaddon, looking to Roche most likely with that. Has the Quelling Blade plus Iron Talon in efficiency there. I mean, I guess you have no replacements, but those two do not stack. You do get to cut more trees, though, Owen.
You do. Just looking at some of these level differences now, though, as well, you know, Monet, he's pretty much about to hit level 12. The best that Geek Fam have on their cores are, they've just hit level 9. So Huskar having the game that was laid out for him.
That's a new.
They're having this beautiful opening. They could go towards Roche. No real interest will be there from Geek Fam to do anything about this. They can't at the moment. They've got to let this one go. A freebie for RNG. Just another piece of their plan coming together.
Yeah, when you look at this draft, you're thinking that storm's coming at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon, but it's noon and it's already hitting, man. It's so early. You're not ready for it. The problem is when you play against these kinds of lineups, you just need to make them take as long as possible to hit that timing. And effectively, as of now, Geek Fam has not delayed that in the slightest. Huskar did TP bottom, so they can't go on Carl in the mid lane here.
Yeah, he wants to finish off his item. I mean, once the BKB's done, there's nothing, right? He's invincible in this game at the moment.
Okay, Flywin doesn't activate his ultimate to run away. Does do it a bit late. No Huskar for at least another 20 seconds, but they're going to be forced to back off. Being afraid of the potential, honestly, just a lot of nuke damage coming out from RNG at this stage in the game. Usually that's not a problem for the heroes that Geek Fam has in the mid game, but since they all had a rough start, even the nukes from the supports can be quite scary. Even Lich maxing out the Frost Armor, sometimes you see them maxed out Frost Blast.
Setsu, he's going in. He finds Zephyr, who's hiding in the trees. Setsu knew that someone was around. Just diving in. I mean, Setsu, you know, he says what now? You know, he's playing the puck beautifully. It doesn't matter the talent's got changed. Setsu had a brilliant lane. his execution in both of these matches, his SF in the mid lane in game 1, and now his Puck in the safe lane. You know, this guy, he's on fire so far this LAN. As this action, it just doesn't stop.
Yep, there's that Yules to help his teammates catch up. Oh, they steal the Heavenly Grace. You got your own Omni Knight now.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Cuckoo is trying to turn and run down September. I mean, the Iron Gyro trying to make a go at this, but the Chain Frost is doing a lot against him. GA's pop, but these Chain Frost bounces, maximum efficiency there from Super as he gets the full damage output amongst the heroes alone. Raven's going to be chased by Setsu and September. Double kill for the safe lane Puck. As Setsu continues to pull out play after play, Cuckoo will be run down by Super and Flywin, as he seems to have no counterplay to the chase that's there. Setsu even sweeps by to pick up the glory for himself. 8-1 and 2 at 16 minutes in. The nerfs weren't enough, Brian.
I mean, RNG just looks sick, man. They are one-upping Geek Fam, maybe like 7-upping them, you know, like the soda. I don't know, man. This is quite an insurmountable lead for Geek Fam to overcome here. BKB already done on the Huskar, even got the Vampire Fangs from the neutrals. Quite a nice item to have lifesteal for free on a hero like Huskar. Trying to clear as much as they can, but they have the Catapult, they have Heavenly Grace, they have Abaddon. As I was concerned in the draft for this Rubik becoming another Omni Knight for them. And I just didn't expect the lanes to go this poorly. I don't feel like I've ever been this... I'm as surprised as Geek Fam, I think, about how quickly this game's gotten out of control.
And would you say sort of the biggest sort of error, it was that bottom lane? You don't think that should go as badly as it did for Geek Fam?
I think that going as badly as it did made this game 100% look like it did, and sometimes one misstep can lead to that. But this crucial kill on Abaddon, or Abaddon, excuse me, if they can bring him down before his team gets there, they might pay the price for this. Oh my God.
He's going to live, Brian.
No.
And Mone's in with the BKB, jumps forward. The bounces of the Chain Frost doing wonders against Dubu and Cuckoo. It's another couple of easy kills for RNG, and not an easy kill at all for Geek Fam. Unable to push Flywin over the edge as he walks away on minimal HP.
Like I said, they just have this critical threshold where once you get over it and you can't kill anybody anymore, you just lose.
And I think, if anything, this series, RNG, they're just sort of blowing us away here with this performance. Because Geek Fam, this is not a bad squad. These are some good players. They showed us yesterday. I think you can expect Geek Fam to pick themselves up after being knocked down here. But the fact that RNG is showing us that they're that much better this series, I'm already looking at this game. I don't know who else here at this LAN is going to really challenge this team. RNG seem to be on another level at the moment.
Yeah, no, they just look solid. It's not, none of these games look like a fluke. Yeah, you can say Huskar's cheese, but Huskar's not an easy hero to cheese people with in competitive Dota. They are just, look at this, like they're playing so well around him, making sure you have to focus him. Nobody else is getting caught out of position. No other targets being gone on. He's just right-clicking away. You're stunning this guy, but he's killing you much faster than you're killing him, and by killing him, I mean not at all. Triple kill already for Monet. Oh, man.
Give
him the rampage!
Give him it. There it is. Monet closes up the game with a rampage. It's all over. GG has been called. RNG, man, these guys, they want to go to the major. Yeah, with these sort of plays, they are just tearing through any team that's been unfortunate enough to have to challenge them so far at this minor. As Geek Fam they're just tossed aside by them.